Hi guys, Fanny-Anne here. Just a quick disclaimer, not proclaimers, not 500 miles, disclaimer thing before I do another fresh fan fiction. I've had a couple of people say to me, it's basically porn and stuff that you're doing. It's not supposed to be. If you get off on that and have a little Tommy Tank to what I'm talking about, then you're a little bit strange. It's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be me reading fanfiction I've never read before, getting my reaction on camera to it. I find it hilarious, so I thought why not put it on camera, because it's funny. So yeah, please don't take it wrong or in the wrong context. It's not supposed to be a sexual thing that I'm doing, it's supposed to be a funny thing. So yeah, if that little disclaimer at the front helps you make your decision and you've seen the other two and you generally think that this is going to be like porn or is like porn to you and it's not something you want to read, then I appreciate you coming and looking in the first place. Maybe you'll find something else on my channel that you enjoy, and maybe this is not for you and you shouldn't, you know, watch it. But I just had to make that little note to let people know that it's supposed to be funny, it's not supposed to be sexual, I'm not doing anything here sexual. And yeah, and if you are one of the people that enjoys the smut and you like it and you like hearing about it or reading about it, then stay tuned because there's going to be a lot of smut. Welcome to another edition of Fresh Fan Fiction. Today we're going to do, I think, about two, because last time we did three. I think three is a bit too much. 13 to 15 minutes videos are a bit long for some people, so we're going to try and keep it below 10 minutes. Yeah, so we're just going to do two. We're going to do another YouTuber one because I was talking to my friend about it and she mentioned, which made me think that it's funnier and weirder because the YouTubers are real people, whereas most other fan fiction, they're characters that people write about, whereas YouTubers and things like that, they're actually writing about real life people getting into situations that they want to fantasise about, which is very strange, and it made me want to do another one. And when I started watching YouTube, I started with PewDiePie because he's just brilliant, so I'm going to do a Pewdiecry fanfiction, which is PewDiePie and Cry. If you didn't know who they are, look them up, they're great. So yeah, we're going to do that, and they're always great, so let's find the first one and let's get to it, I suppose. Okay, so this one I found on Wattpad again, and the title is literally called Smut, Smut, Smut. So I think you can see what this one's going to be about, which is always fun. So let's get into it, shall we? Pewdie looked up at Cry in shock, breath raspy and erratic. Cry, he breathed, looking at his friend with half-lidded eyes. Wait, his friend? His friend? Oh God, he hadn't even realised it until now. This was Cry, his friend. Not only that, he was another guy. Eyes widening, Pewdie tried to get up as best he could before he felt a strong grip on his wrists, pinning him against the bed. Cry, wait a second, His words were cut short as Cry grabbed his chin with his free hand, holding his face still. No excuses, Felix. You brought this upon yourself. Before Pewdie could protest, Cry swiftly silenced him, loosening all strain and crashing his lips into the helpless Swedes. Race always has to come into it. Always, because he's Swedish. Pewdie's eyes widened as he felt Cry's teeth nipping at his bottom lip and his gasping at the pain, giving Cry enough time to slip his tongue between the other's lips and start exploring his mouth. Pewdie moaned silently, blushing and awkwardly moving his tongue in correspondence to Cry's. Were they really doing this? Cry ended the kiss. Sitting up and looking down on Pewdie with hungry eyes, he licked his lips slowly and hummed. You seem quite excited, Felix. Shall I continue? Pewdie tried to swallow a nervous lump in his throat as he battled with himself about how to answer. Before he even had a chance to open his mouth, Cry had placed his hand onto Pewdie's erection. Admiring the bulge and trying to visualise the pulsing penis beneath all that cloth. My, Pewds, you are so very hard. You want this a lot, don't you? Cry emphasised the last two words, but slowly sliding his finger up the bulge, pressing down so the other would feel it. In response, Pewdie gasped shakingly and shuddered, looking down at the brunette who was staring up at him. I don't understand why people keep saying that Cry is a brunette. Like, there's a lot of fan fiction out there for Pewdiecry, a lot of pictures and stuff, and they always draw him as a brunette. No one knows what he looks like. He's always hid his face, so a lot of people just assume that he's brunette. Could be ginger. Nothing wrong with ginger, but it could be ginger. Could have purple hair. But yeah, he's brunette. Brilliant. Looking down at the brunette, who is now staring up at him while teasingly pressing his fingers down, Pewdie shook, finding it hard to speak. Ease. Cry looked up, quirking a brow. What was that, Felix? He began to twist his finger. Pewdie moaned loudly and bucked his hips up. Please, please, Ryan, please. I didn't know his name was Ryan. I'm learning things with this fanfiction. Learning new stuff every day. Guy's name's Ryan. Ryan. Does kind of make sense. Pewdie blushed while looking down at the other, eyes practically begging him as well. Cry smirked and slowly began to unzip Pewdie's jeans, kissing and biting his hips at the same time before finally, after all the agonising slowness, Pewdie's erection was fully freed from his pants and boxers. He let out a sigh of utter relief. Yep. Cry smiled, tracing a circle around the other's erection. I'm not sure you want this, Cry purred. Like a cat. There's lots of animals in this fanfiction. Animal references: milking like a cow, panting like a dog, purring like a cat. Enjoying the look of desperate lust on his friend's face. I do, a lot. I don't think you do, Cry smirked, looking proud of how much he was affecting Pewdie. Pewdie was overtaken with a huge wave of lust, and he overpowered the brunette, flipping them over so he was on top before thrusting his cock in Cry's mouth. Oh dear. I don't know why oral makes me cringe and makes me not want to read anymore, but I don't want to read anymore. Yeah. Cry wiped his face, smearing his fingers and licking it off. No wonder this title was called Smart, Smart, Smart. Oh, for fuck's sake. Nope. Wow. Powerful. Okay. It is weird that they're real people, I think. Like, Jess was talking about how, you know, it's strange that people write fanfiction about real life people and not about characters. I mean, I know that PewDiePie and Cry are kind of characters in their own way, like, because they're Felix and Ryan, but they're still people. They still act themselves and are people online, and they're not trying to portray a character, they're trying to be themselves. So yeah, it's really strange. So then the next one we're going to read is not going to be a YouTuber one, to be honest with you. I mean, I'll probably end up doing another one in the next episode, probably a Ken and Pewdie one or something, because Ken and Pewdie ship. So looking through Google and stuff to find some sort of fan fiction, took me a while just to look through things. I seen that there's a lot of One Direction like ones, and being a huge fan of One Direction, I decided to read a One Direction one, and I found, the first one I found was a Niall one. There's a little blonde Irish one. I don't know, I'm not a fan, I just don't care. But you know, there's a lot of them, so let's get started on one of them. This one is just called Niall Horan. Horan? I'll probably get a lot of hate from One Direction. Horan. Niall Horan. Let's begin. Come on, Derby, you hear Niall yell at the TV. You were finishing up the dishes from dinner while he sat in the other room watching his football game. Washing the dishes, all you could think about was how passionate of a person Niall was. He watches every game without a foul and gets so into it makes you hot, so you decide to test your luck with him. You walk into the living room and stare at the back of Niall's head, waiting for the perfect time to make your move, just waiting. I will make my move soon. Right when the Derby gets to the ball, you stalk over to Niall and throw yourself over his body so you're straddling him and staring at him as seductively as you can. Like this. One eyebrow. It's my seductive scare. Scare? Definitely a scare. Babe, I'm watching the game, he says, trying to look around you at the TV screen. I'm not going to do Irish again because, as you've seen in the last one, I'm not very good at Irish, so we'll just carry on doing my normal Essex accent with it. You mumble and push your lips onto his. Niall kisses you back with lust, as much passion, but ends the kiss to yell something at the screen. You just move your lips to his neck and you run your hands up and down his back, leaving marks. You kiss your way up his jawline and kiss his lips again. This time you hold the back of his head and Niall is mostly forced to continue making out with you. Kiss me! Nice. After a minute, Niall pulls away again, because you're not very strong, so great. Babe, seriously, I'm trying to watch the game. Not that it's not hot, but I'm trying to watch, he says. You mumble again. A woman of many words. She knows how to talk to people. You mumble again, still kissing his neck. This time you move your hands down to his track pants. What are track pants? I'm guessing they're like jogging bottoms. And palm him over the material. Now, there's a lot of palming in fanfiction. Is it just like, just gonna wash my way through, Mr. Miyagi it? Where was I? Palm him over the material. A low groan comes from Niall as he tries to focus on the game. This kid, man. Anybody that does that, just walk away. Just wait till the game's finished, because they clearly don't care. You move back to his lips again, still palming him, when suddenly Niall gets really rough with you. Fine, he states, and flips you so you are laying under him on the couch. If you wanted it so bad, then you'll get it. And he roughly undoes your jeans and shoves his hands down your pants. Yep. Without warning, he rams into you as hard as he can and begins pumping, leaving you no time to adjust. Just pinned to the couch. There's a lot of stuff here that's not consensual, I can read. Yeah. Niall doesn't say a word, just pumps and pumps, grunting and groaning in his deep accent, until you both feel your climax coming on. With a scream, you release onto him and he spills inside of you. With one last grunt and pulls out. He pulls his pants back up and while you lay there breathless, happy now? He asks. What a dick. You get up and grab your book and sit opposite him on the couch and read while he finishes the game. Better wait to see if you can walk tomorrow and rethink that idea. When the Derby wins, you better be ready for round 2, he says before turning back to the TV and yelling as Derby scores another goal. Derby wins the game and Niall walks over to you and throws your book across the room. Like I said, round 2, he says, and plants his lips onto yours. Mate, she was reading that. Just chucked it across the room. I don't know about you, but when I'm reading a book and someone just chucks it across the room, I forget what I've read. You just let me finish the sentence or the chapter or the page and then you can come in and do what you want. Just let me finish the book first. I won't be happy with Niall. Niall Horan. God damn you, Niall Horan. So yeah, that's it for today. I'm only going to do 2, like I said. Try and find some other ones next week or whenever I decide to do this again. Thank you guys so much for coming and seeing me today. And if you liked it, please push that little like button at the bottom and subscribe if you want to. It all helps, share and favourite and all that. And I'll see you beauties in the next one. Bye! Oh, and at the beginning, when I did my little disclaimer, and I said a few people, it was mainly just my mum. It was pretty much just my mum. Mate, I rock every sort of hat since birth. Snapbacks all the way. Oh.